Hey everybody, it's Diane Glander with Coldwell Banker Spring Lake again today to talk about, so you want to move to Spring Lake. Where do you want to live in town? You know, it seems like such an easy question to answer because you think it's such a small town that, well, how difficult can it be to figure out where I want to live? What I can tell you is your budget is going to determine where you're going to be in town. So let's talk about some of the sections of town, right? So the north end of town feels more like a year-round community. The lots are larger, the trees are taller, and the properties are just a little bit more lush, if you will. Now, when you go to the south side of town, which is kind of considered like Atlantic Avenue and South, then you get a real beachy feel to the town, right? The lots are smaller, the streets are narrower, and the trees are just, they don't have that like really cool canopy that you find in the north end of town. So a lot of people who come are living here year round, and they prefer to be in the north end of town where it does feel a lot more like a year-round community versus the south side of town where it's got that more beachy feel. And yet there are people who come and they love the south side of town because they're buying a beach house. But they're definitely different. North end, I would say, is kind of like Washington Avenue and north. That's one way to figure out where you want to live in town. Really, the underlying factor is going to be how much of a house can you afford? Because everyone wants to be close to the beach. We kind of divide the town in half from 3rd Avenue and East and 3rd Avenue and West. Now, 3rd Avenue and East, because you're closest to the beach, is where you will find the highest prices. Especially when you're considering the north end of town, you're going to be looking at generally $4 million plus. And when you're west of 3rd Avenue, you are talking anywhere from 1 million to 3 million on average. So your price point may just limit where you can live in town. That being said, lot sizes, if you're looking for a larger lot, something bigger than a 50 by 150, you're most likely going to be looking in that north end of town because there's just not a lot of larger size lots in the south end of town. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few, but not like the north end of town. The zoning is different there and the lot sizes are much larger. If you would like to be close to town, then you're looking like between Passaic and Washington Avenue. East of 3rd there and west of 3rd there as well is very desirable, as these days people like to be able to walk places. And when you're within that 6-block radius or so, you will be able to walk right into town, grab your coffee, your morning paper, do some shopping, see your neighbors, go to the bank. It's all right there. So that stretch of property in town has become really desirable. Now, when I had bought 30 plus years ago, my agent told me to stay away from town. You don't want to be near anything commercial. So I didn't buy near town. But that philosophy has totally flipped as our mindsets have changed. You know, if you are looking to be close to the beach, the south end of town is more affordable. You can get to be within beach block on the south end of town for probably 3 million, where you're looking at closer to 6 or 7 million on the north side of town. The affordable areas are closer to the railroad tracks, which is the western border in Spring Lake. So we call them 100 block if they're 1 block to the beach. 200 block is 2 blocks to the beach. Well, when you get to 400 and 500 block, because of the distance to the beach and the lot sizes typically are smaller, more of your 50 by 150, it's a little bit more reasonable to buy there. So where do you want to live in Spring Lake? How close to the beach can you afford to be? And by the way, if it's only you're looking to spend that $1 million, get into town. It's a great place to build equity. Stay a couple of years in your 400 or 500 block house and then move. Take that equity and move closer to the ocean. People do it all the time. Anyway, my name's Diane Glander. I'm with Coldwell Banker Realtors in Spring Lake. and my cell phone is 732-233-9630. I'm going to be posting a lot about Spring Lake in the coming weeks and months. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'm looking forward to talking to you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody.